Greetings, opportunists of Crypto Broker Academy. Today I have a whiteboard breakdown to compare the very popular GX broker with the very rare GX broker dealer and what those entail, as well as the compensation that's tied to each of them. So first and foremost, you might be familiar with what a GX broker is. That's when you stake 1,000 GX tokens to unlock your brokerage, to have a referral link with which you can sign up clients, customers, business partners, anyone that's looking to get into the world of crypto and earn an income from all the transactions for the life of that customer, as well as the life of the customers of your other brokers that decide to get clients as well. Now, in order to become a broker dealer, this is typically reserved for big companies or influencers that have tremendous amount of reach and are willing to pay for an exclusive license to have it either white labeled or specifically tailored for them. But more than that, even if they're not a company or not a big influencer, but they are a big marketer, they may still decide to become a broker dealer. Now, I must say, in order to become a broker dealer, it's not just 1,000 GX tokens, it's a license that costs 100,000 US dollars. But I can assure you, once you understand the rewards plan, it may be well worth it for those that can play on that level. So we're going to be covering the different transaction types that you can get rewarded on and the percentile in comparison with this rare and coveted broker dealer. So first and foremost, the biggest type of commission that you're going to get both from the broker side as well as the broker dealer side is the sales of tokens, which right now we're selling GX tokens, but in the future it may be other tokens. It will be other tokens. So first and foremost, you get a 15% commission when you sell any amount of tokens. So if you sell $1,000 worth of token, 15% is $150. That's if you do it yourself. That's a direct commission for a direct sale. If it happens indirectly, there's a different compensation structure, which I'll dive into afterwards. OTC is over-the-counter sales of crypto, which can be Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other type of crypto. For that, it's special because you get to designate what that transaction fee is going to be. For example, Coinbase has a 3% fee. That's what I set mine at, but you're more than welcome to set it as higher or lower than that. And it can be as low as 0, it can be as high as whatever you can imagine, up to even 100, which would be ridiculous, but you have the freedom to do that. Beyond that, once you set your specific percentile, let's say it's a 5% fee of buying crypto or selling crypto on a $1,000 transaction. So someone's buying $1,000 worth of crypto on your brokerage, 5% would be $50. Now, you don't get the full $50, you get 70% of the percentile fee that you charge. So 70% of 50 would be approximately $35. So that would be a $35 commission to you. Now, the digital transactions are the trading, the conversion, the exchanges of Bitcoin to Ethereum, Ethereum to Litecoin, any of those transactions. That is a set fee of 0.1%. But of the 0.1%, you get 35%. So that's the direct commissions that goes to you. Now, what happens if it's indirect? What happens if one of your brokers sells some tokens? Well, in that case, it's a 5% commission that is taken and distributed up the chain. So it's not just 5% to you, it's 5% that's taken from that transaction of, let's say, back to that $1,000 worth of GX token that's sold. 5% would be $50, and that $50 is not just given to you, but it's split amongst all of the super exceeding GX brokers that have led to that transaction happening. So if there's 5 GX brokers, it will be split in a very, very innovative algorithmic way in which every single one of them will be compensated to the degree that they were closer to the actual transaction. So the closer you are, the more that you make of that 5%. But the beautiful part is that every single broker in that chain, in that broker chain, will be compensated at least to some degree, and that's because of what is called the broker chain, which I'll dive into in another video. But just know that there's a 5% commission that is sent upwards to feed all of the brokers that has led to that transaction happening. Now, when it comes to OTC of the indirect sales, that's where it gets pretty interesting, because you have now the sale of, and this, you're gonna get a lot of volume from here because you have so many of these happening on a day-to-day basis, but you get a 10% that split up the broker chain yet again, but there's gonna be a lot of volume that come from here. Also, when it comes to the digital conversions of one crypto to another inside of your broker chain, not direct to you, there's gonna be a 15% commission, again, split in that broker chain. Depending on how close you are will be the magnitude of your commission. Let's compare this with the broker deal and why someone would be in the right frame of mind to even consider paying $100,000 for this license. So first and foremost, the direct, which was 15% here, now becomes 20%. May not sound like a lot, but it adds up. Where it really counts is actually over here, the indirect. So that's the fun part, so stay tuned. The second part is OTC sales. That's the selling of any sort of Bitcoin, Ethereum, those sorts of cryptos. That's an 80% commission. And right now, you might be saying, oh, only a 5% increase, only a 10% increase. Where's the logic in paying 100,000? It's coming. Then digital sales, which is going to be that 0.1% fixed amount for people to do any sort of conversions or trading, which it has to be very small because considering that it's just simply trading, is going to be the exact doubling of that, 70%. Now, this bottom part justifies that crazy 100,000 because with a broker dealer, the indirect, which is still the same here actually, 5%, is not split amongst the broker chain, meaning that regardless of the depth at which tokens are sold, so let's say 100 generations deep, someone of his broker chain within the lineage of his broker has sold 1,000 GX tokens. That means that broker who sold the 1,000 GX tokens would be making their 15%. But the broker dealer does not get diluted in the commission of the 5%, whereas most brokers would. So meaning that he would make 5%, which is $50 from a sale that happened 100 generations deep. Can you understand the power of this? That this is gonna equalize, it could be 1,000 deep, it could be 1,000,000 deep in the organization. As long as there's not another broker dealer in that chain, then he will be compensated. And if there is, then there's a broker dealer chain, which is something that I'll cover in another video. Now that you understand that concept, let's look at the OTC. It's actually still 10%, but the difference is this 10% is diluted and shared amongst all the other brokers, whereas this 10% is not shared, but directly paid to a broker dealer. So that can be tremendous. So back to that $1,000 example of selling $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, let's say, 100 generations deep, the fee, if it was set at 5%, that means that there was a total of $50 charged. He would get $5 from that $50 without it being diluted, whereas that would be the case here. And finally, digital commissions is going to remain at 15%, but again, unencumbered by the dilution, and that's what makes it extremely, extremely powerful. So that's the big difference of the two. Other than that, there is the white labeling aspect of it, the ability for a company, and this is where companies come into play. Other crypto companies can come in and essentially license this from them, that's the $100,000 license, and integrate that into their own platform and allow all of their customer base to then get their crypto from their own crypto broker. And essentially it will seem seamless, and all the customer service would be provided by the company. That's why many companies are actually really, really not only considering this, but already coming to this company in seeking this for their own benefit, for their own usability, for their own convenience to get their customers easy access and higher limits of crypto. So with this understanding, you can always start here, but keep in mind that there is a higher level to be played at. And if you ever decide to get to that level, that door may be open to you depending on how many GX tokens are still left and how many licenses are still left. So hopefully you understand the big difference here. One other thing that I want to mention is, as a broker, you can actually sign up broker dealers. So you may not have anywhere near 100,000, or you may feel like you want to work up to there. Well, here's a very, very clever thing you can do. You can take this model, this GX platform, be the messenger and take this message to people that have a say in the matter in other companies and introduce this concept to them. And they may say, wow, that is a really cool solution. Our company can extremely benefit, which I've gotten the chance to do. There's many people that run companies or are connected to the heads of companies that I've reached out to or have reached out to me actually to see if this could integrate with their platforms. And when they actually become a broker dealer, you will get a 15% commission. What's 15% of $100,000? That's right, 15 grand. That's right, you can quickly make 15 grand by signing up broker dealers, and who knows, soon enough you might be able to get your own broker dealer's license. Hopefully you understood what the main points are and the key benefits of both, but nevertheless, there's a huge benefit to becoming a broker versus not becoming one at all. So don't just stay on the consumer side, be wise and become a portal through which people can access the crypto world, and you will get compensated quite handsomely. I'll catch you guys on the next whiteboard breakdown.